Well, good morning. Here it is. It's Thursday. It's February the 10th, and anyway, we're getting closer to Friday, and hope that your week is going. Hope it's going well. As I said yesterday, as I close, let's be sure to pray for those that are some having difficult times, but have family members that are in the hospital, and let's lift them up in prayer. Make sure to pray for them as you start your day today. But this morning, I want to share with you a devotion entitled "The Cure for Comparison." In Mark chapter 3, verse 14, it says, Then he appointed 12, that they might be with him, and that he might send them out to preach. It hadn't been all that long ago. I watched an old movie from when I was growing up. I'm sure from that era, and it was about a military officer who recruited some prisoners for a special mission, and this group was known as the Dirty Dozen. You probably a lot of you are familiar with that old movie. But the 12 apostles whom Jesus called, they were not the Dirty Dozen, but they were very ordinary men. We might even call them questionable hires. When you talk about hiring people or appointing people. But Jesus, he hand selected each one of them, and they could not have been more different from one another. In fact, as we look at them, in the scriptures, they might seem familiar to us. They're they're probably like maybe some relatives that we have. I mean, no doubt about it. These apostles, they were an eclectic group, bunch. I mean, we also read of several occasions in the Gospels when Jesus, he specifically took, Peter, James, and John with him. I mean, for instance, they were with, he took them with him. They were with Jesus at the Transfiguration. We know that he took them, when he went to raise the daughter of Jairus, from the dead, and when he went to pray in the Garden of Gethsemane. And so the question I have for you right now is did Jesus take these three along because they were the more elite apostles? Well, I've had a different theory presented to me, and I think it has some merit. Maybe the reason that he kept them a little closer than everyone else was because he wanted to keep an eye on them. One day Jesus, he revealed to Peter, that he would be martyred for his faith. And Peter, he immediately in this scene, he pivoted to John, and he said in John 21:21, "What about him, Lord?" And then Jesus, he gave an amazing response in verse 22. He said, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? As for you, follow me." Maybe you've looked at someone else's life and maybe you've said, well, Lord, why are they being blessed more than I'm being blessed? Why did this tragedy, happen to me? Why are these things happening in my life right now? Here's Christ's response to you. What is that to you? You just follow me. You see, I think too many times and I've been guilty of it myself. I think too many times we want to compare ourselves, to another Christian, to another believer, and we see them being blessed, and we think, well, man, what's going on here? Why am I being tested? Why am I going through? And we may not be, understanding it to be testing, but sometimes that is what we're going through. You see, in Jesus, I believe he truly just wants to know that we're available, to whatever he wants to call us to do. He wants us to know if we're truly going to follow him. And that's what we need to do. We need to quit doing this comparing business, comparing ourselves to someone else, because God calls them to a specific task, and God calls us to do specific things. And so I hope that encourages you this morning. I hope that you'll just be willing to follow and do what Jesus calls you to do. Anyway, Angie and I love you guys. We're praying for you, and Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.